anyway. I claim the moon's made of plasma, a place no one can go. The Apollo program's a scam, I can't back it up though. They talk about the ISS is floating in space. You ask me in a pool, I'd say it's the case. Satelloons in the sky held up by helium balloons. But bro, that's just a lie, cause that's what all bitches do. NASA lies is something I'll never prove. No facts, no evidence, debates I will lose. They say they've been to the moon, I say it's not the truth. I see truth in the way I hate MC True when he shows me proof. The firmament is real, a dome up above, but I'll never prove it, so lost that I'm dumb. I know the world is flat, trust your sense of sight. Saying gravity's just a theory is why I'm up at night. NASA is phony like a show or movie, fake like some stage. Truman show child's play, it's just a suck at this game. Because I'm just a dick with only my stupid self to blame. But I'm so fucking sure that the earth is flat, based on how I feel.
Hey, how's it going, people? So I've been able to finally go live here. Don't know how long I'll be able to stay on here for. Dealing with some personal issues and stuff like that. But yeah, we'll go on for a little bit here. See if I can show a few little bits and bobs and see what comes up. I don't know who'll be in the chat here, but we will see. Hopefully, some people will actually come in. Try to make a more regular thing of this, but yeah. All right, so let's move on here. Just give us a second here. All right, so I'm gonna see if I can get some stuff to come up here, and so I don't know if anybody seen my last video there. I was able to get I was able to go into my sorry, my last video there. I actually showed some flat Earth measurements, and I reacted to Nathan Oakley. Nathan Oakley actually came into my one video in which I showed some measurements, and I showed the dip of the horizon, and he decided to claim that I used flat Earth measurements, and I've heard this before from some other flat earthers, and so I kind of went over what he had said, went over the video that I originally did, and then I showed because I didn't show when I did the Walter Bisling's Earth curve calculator. I didn't show the comparison between the flat Earth hypothesis and the globe hypothesis and see which one actually matches reality. So I went over the whole thing, and I was able to. I went over it, and I was able to show exactly what I meant. And then he got in there and said the exact same thing to me again, which I think is rather kind of funny, to be honest. So I'm gonna show you here. Just gonna get this to come up here. Get this come up here. Hold on. Right, so we're gonna be on my page here. What I want to show you is funny enough, he actually has not commented on my flight paths nor my my Nathan Thompson ones, which is funny, or anything else. So, but yeah, here it is here. I'm going to show you the comments here. So, because I got Oakley that was actually in my comments, which is quite funny. I find this quite comical. So, see if I can bring him up here. Let's say, all right, so I'm actually going to show you the video, and then we're going to show you what Nathan Oakley said. Hey folks, so earlier this week, I ended up having Nathan Oakley ended up in the comment section of my videos. The one in which I measure the dip of the horizon, showing the horizon doesn't rise. The horizon doesn't rise to eye level, as is required of the flat Earth. So have a look at what he said and his comments, and then we're going to disprove his claims. He claims that I use flat Earth measurements. Now, I did ask for him to prove this, and he has failed to reply to that because he can't. Let's have a look at what he said, and let's destroy him. His first point, saying that the height and distance I use could only requires a flat plane. It's 100% incorrect. Height and distance can easily be measured off a sphere. Next, Nathan claims that I used flat Earth measurements, but yet he can't prove that I used flat Earth measurements, and I didn't. In fact, if you look at my video, I didn't use flat Earth measurements at all, but actually used a theodolite app and predictions that were taken off a globe model from Walter Bisling's Advanced Earth Curve Calculator. Nathan Oakley is making loads of claims here, but he has yet to provide any evidence of his claims. He's also claims stuff here, but he's talking bullshit. So unlike Nathan Oakley, I actually went out and took measurements and proved the curvature of the Earth, something he has never done. So one thing I'm going to bring up here is the fact is what he said here. I'll read it real quick for you. It says, the Earth is measured flat by everyone, including this idiot in his echo chamber. Feel free to present this crap on my live show so I can hand you your own ass for a live audience. Now, if I went on his show, if anybody knows Nathan Oakley, he would probably mute me and then talk all over me and berate me. And I've offered him to come on here because I think he needs to get away from his mute button. Because if I go in there, I won't be able to present anything, because he probably won't let me present anything on the screen. And then he'll shout and scream at me and make loads of claims, and then mute me every time I bring up anything that would refute his claims. And then most likely would kick me. This is a very common thing that Oakley likes to do. He's known for this very well. And I just don't see the point of going in there. I would have no problem debating him if it was in a neutral platform. I even offered him to come on here, in which then he could he'd be away from his mute button, and then he'd be on more equal ground. At least in where he could shout. He could bring all his friends if he wants. He can all jump in and chat away in the live all they like, in the comments. I wouldn't care. But it'd be him and me one-on-one. But he won't do that. And this is quite a common thing locally. So he says, alternatively, watch cartoons that make you feel better about this useless garbage you presented using flat Earth measurements of height off sea level. I think he means sea level. Linear distance and dip below surface level. What an idiot! Stop using flat Earth measurements to claim you are on a globe, Dumbo. I asked him actually for flat Earth measurements to show the flat Earth measurements to prove it, and that was ages ago. And I'm yet to see these measurements for him to tag me anything, or even send me something. He can email it to me. My emails on my YouTube channel, but he has so far been a ghost. So once again, this was my location in my original video of where I'm standing at my altitude, and this is the altitude of the wind turbines. Here is the flat Earth measurement as well as the... So as you can see here, so I've got the flat Earth measurements on the left, which actually shows the horizon rising to eye level, and I've got the globe predictions on the right. Okay, so use the exact same measurements on distances and everything else, and we see that one rises to eye level, one doesn't. I'm going to zoom in a bit more on this later in this video, and you'll see globe measurements side by side. Now let's look very closely. And there you go. So I zoomed in. So this shows what the hypothesis is. On globes on the right, flat Earth is on the left. Flat Earth's got the black lines, globes got the blue lines. See? Flat Earth is on the left, globes on the right. You saw the exact same numbers and everything else. Now which prediction we think matches reality. Let's have a real close look here. Globe on the right, flat Earth on the left. See, using this, both models have now made a prediction. Now let's look and see which ones conform. Also notice on the globe side there where it shows the line there, and that would be where I bisect my crosshairs in my the theodolite app, where it should touch on the wind turbines on the side. So I'll show you here. See how I'm bisecting up higher, which if I was on the flat Earth, it'd be touching the ground, because actually on the other side, when I did my measurements, I don't know if you even noticed this, but the other ground on the other side was actually a couple feet higher elevation than I was. So that actually was ground was actually a tiny bit higher up than I even doing where I was. Using this, both models have now made a prediction. Now let's look and see which ones conform to reality and which one has been falsified. And here we are from my original video. As we look very closely, as you can see, same thing, pitch data, everything, level, and which one conforms to reality. So there you go. So Nathan Oakley claims that I use flat Earth measurements, but when I compare to flat Earth measurements, as you can see here, which one do you think conforms to reality? This is reality here. This was, as you can see, when I had it, it showed that I was holding it completely plumb to the surface I was standing on, and then I was looking across, and you can see how that's bisecting up on those wind turbines on the side, even though this ground is actually 2 feet higher in altitude than I am. So I should be bisecting right at these turbines here if the Earth was flat. I was standing holding this at my feet, on my face, so not quite 6 foot high elevation. But you know, fairly close. You know, we're not gonna semantics, right? Reality. Well, to look at that, the globe conforms to reality, and the flat Earth measurements Nathan Oakley claims are falsified and do not form to reality. This is globe confirmed, and flat Earth has been falsified again. So there you have it, using Nathan Oakley's flat Earth measurements. I have proved that they do not conform to reality, and that the only thing that seems to work in reality and that we can observe is the globe, because the globe is reality and real, and flat Earth is delusional, indoctrinated fantasy that Nathan Oakley tries to push and peddle to grift and make money on. But he's wrong, and I've proven you wrong. So Nathan Oakley, I've proven you wrong again. Now, if you can prove me right, go out and do measurements. I meant to say, if you can prove me wrong. Sorry, that was a bit of a slip of the tongue there. Sometimes it happens. I'm sorry about that. But if Nathan Oakley can prove me wrong and show me measurements, real world measurements, go out and prove it. And I want to see proper measurements using a theodolite, using an app, using something, and making it, and show me and show me all the math, show me all the distances, show me the height of the altitude of one side, altitude of the other side, and make it work, then we'll have something to discuss. But I know he never will, because Nathan Oakley doesn't ever try to measure anything. He just makes fallacious claims and then runs around claiming that he's speaking truth, but he's never proved anything he's ever said. He's coming up with a stupid book, which is most likely going to be worth less than probably toilet paper, but hey, it probably hurt to use. But if I ever get my hands on it in a used bookstore, because I'm not giving Nathan Oakley anything, or if I find it probably sitting in a gutter somewhere, I might bring it on the channel and we'll read through it and have a good laugh. She makes a good comedy. True measurements and show the Earth is flat. Go measure the Earth is flat. Guess what, mate? I know you won't. Why? Because you can't. All you can do is make false assumptions. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to follow me, check out on the videos, and like the video and comment down below. Thanks for watching. See you again. Yes. The good stuff. Alright, so I'm going to check out and see Nathan Oakley actually seen this video, and we'll see his, hilarious response, okay? So, he responded a few times, because he just can't help himself. He said, make a video saying, my latitude I used isn't a flat Earth, isn't a flat Earth Polaris angle measurement. What the hell he's trying to talk about here, but I can show him that. My height off sea level isn't a flat Earth measurement. Derp derp. It isn't a flat Earth measurement. Sea level is an arbitrary kind of distance that is kind of set across around kind of the Earth at a certain point. Because the seas are not level, you have tides up and down, stuff like that, and then different seas have different altitudes. But we have arbitrary measurement or distance that we use, and then try to measure altitude off the point you're at. So sea level of where we're standing, and then over there, that point there, it's not off. It's not flat Earth measurement, but he claims it. But we'll look it up. This is I wasn't dropped in my head. I just look and sound like an idiot when I use a linear flat Earth distance measurement. No, I didn't use a linear flat Earth distance measurement. I proved that because I showed the flat Earth distance measurement and it didn't conform to reality. But he ignored that, or he was too stupid to realize it. And then he said, I didn't get a double MMR job when I say pitch data and everything level. Derp derp derp. I didn't say pitch data. I just showed that my phone wasn't pitching up or down or like that. So yeah, it was pitch data. I was showing it wasn't pitched. That Nathan's too stupid. He says, "Did you get your tears? Did you get the tears from the echo chamber? Are the tears you cried when you're using flat Earth measurements?" I wasn't using flat Earth measurements. I was using globe measurements. Well, I was just using measurements. That was actually off of a tangent. I was measuring the drop off the tangent from where I was standing. But Nathan's too stupid to realize that. And he says, "Good dog, chop chop." With the echo chamber, using video using more of flat Earth measurements and claim a ball. What an idiot. Yeah, well, I showed the flat Earth measurements, and Nathan Oakley can't even address that. And then I think he does respond somewhere else here, I think. I did respond back to him there. I was just trying to think here. I think I do remember he did respond. He actually said a couple of them here. But yeah, so Nathan Oakley actually responded. I know I did a video. He claimed the same bullshit, but he can never actually prove it. Now I did prove the flat Earth measurements using geometry, and it falsified his claims. So far, Nathan can't even refute that. He says shit, and then I think I did respond back to him. My response, just to be completely open, was your tears are so sweet, Nathan. Keep crying in my comments. I showed the flat Earth measurements and predictions. They failed to work in reality. You keep coping there, buttercup. But I wrecked you and your fantasy delusional flat Earth. I believe he actually did respond on something else here. Just trying to see here. I'll bring it up. Let's try to see here.
Hey, folks, welcome back. So, one thing I've heard from...
Like you there? Did Oakley? No, I didn't. I can't remember. Yeah, that was a bit comical there. So, and then so far he's gone. So I've tried to look up Nathan Oakley, see if he has anything on his channel. All he tends to do is go into his Discord, and then he tries to do lives on there. And he actually got kicked out of the Earth Awakenings Discord because nobody wants his vile BS anymore, because he's just nothing but a toxic piece of shit. Now I'll leave this open again. I don't know if Nathan Oakley will ever see this video. He might do. He likes to see some of my videos. Obviously watches me, he's a fan. And we'll see if he wants to come on. Now he's more than welcome to come on here. I will open up a it's called, is it Stream Ninja, whatever it's called. Yeah, I think it's Stream Ninja, or he's more than welcome to come on here, and we can have a little debate back and forth, and he can show me his flat Earth measurements and show me how he got them, and he can prove it. But I will not go on his, because one, I don't have Discord, and two, I don't see the point in going into his echo chamber where he has all of his cronies there and his favorite beloved mute button, because what's the point? Why would I go on to something like that when he's just going to mute me and talk over me and berate me? It'd be kind of funny probably to watch the little cue ball lose his crap, but yeah. What is, like I said, what is the point there? Get number here. Did you comment on this one? All right, here. So I'm going to use the Flirt's own. I just wanted to see. No, he didn't. All right, there was another one he commented on, but I don't want to. I can't find it at this moment in time. Right. So now I did want to go on to a different one here. So. Experiment TFE. I don't know if you may have seen this one. I wanted to cover it for ages. Unfortunately, I'm running behind times here because I'm just not getting on. But we will see here. And it was the there's two. There's the right. I'll cover this a little bit. This is the destruction of Nathan Thompson by Will Duffy. So we'll go on to this here.
All right.
But yeah, I'm going to cover this. Will Duffy absolutely destroys Nathan Thompson. Now, Will Duffy does have some problems with his audio in this bit, or his internet issues. We're going to go a little bit faster on the playback speed because we can make up some time on this. So, right.
I am back in the saddle and excited to be back, but I did need a break.
I'm going to skip some of this.
Do this together were the arguments on the final experiment. And so the official resolution, I hope it would be implied, but just in case, is did the final experiment and flat Earth. Cool with that, Nathan? Yeah, so hop into the debate. Cool. And then Will is going first. You guys have got at least 10 minutes.
Now, a little bit of backstory here, because I'm on TikTok as well, before I came really on to Flat Earth on YouTube. Nathan Thompson was sent everything Will Duffy wanted to present and show, so that way that Thompson actually had time to go over it. And then he sat in his lives and briefly looked over it and then said, yeah, well, you're going to talk about the earth and measure the ground, and then threw it all away and didn't bother to look over any of it. So you'll see why. So he did zero homework, zero preparation, and you'll watch Nathan Thompson was a track star in this. He ran, and he ran and ran and ran, and he ran away from everything. He ducked and dodged and ran, and it just showed his cognitive bias and his low IQ.
You need 12, no problem. And do you guys have any questions?
No, I'm good. Are we starting in 6 minutes?
Yeah, so if you have to use the restroom or something, I can start fitting the little feeds here in Zoom. Cool.
I ended up getting out of the financial world to become.
Let's go past some of this here.
So my channel is not even monetized.
Won't see or hear us yet. This is just basically former Netflix star. But all right. Let me just double check this is good. Cool. Right now with Will Duffy's opening statement. Thanks so much for being with us. Will, it's all yours.
Remember, Will Duffy went down to Antarctica back in December with, I think it was 4 or 5 flat earthers and 4 or 5 globe earthers, and they did some experiments and different things. No, well, the globe earthers did experiments. The flat earthers stood around, looked at the sky, and went, "Oh, dear, the 24-hour sun does exist." And then I think Jaren did a couple other things, and Witsit pretty much just stood around vaping, pretending that he's not, so his wife didn't catch him. And I think that's pretty much about it. Oh yeah, and Witsit was on his phone quite a bit, so yeah.
Let me just do a little tweak here. There we go.
Okay, ready to go? Awesome. Our debate proposition is, did the final experiment end flat Earth? I will be defending the affirmative that yes, the final experiment of 2024 ended flat Earth. My opponent, Nathan Thompson, will be taking up the negative and attempting to argue that a flat Earth is possible despite the numerous observations and experiments we conducted while in Antarctica and Chile. I need to point out here that Nathan Thompson was told that since I am the creator of the final experiment, I'm only interested in debating TFE. And most importantly, our debate is over whether or not the final experiment has ended flat Earth. Which means our debate has nothing to do with the globe or the globe model. Our debate proposition is not, did the final experiment prove the globe? No, it's did the final experiment end flat Earth? So I will be arguing that the final experiment trip and accompanying experiments and observations are not possible on a flat Earth, and therefore TFE has ended flat Earth. And it will be Nathan's role to argue that TFE's experiments and observations are possible.
Notice Nathan there doing this because he needs to be the center of attention all the time because he's a narcissistic asshole. So, I mean that, Nathan. And if you don't, if you have an issue with it, I'm right here, Buttercup.
On a flat stationary plane, and then that flat Earth has survived. Now, if Nathan goes off topic and talks about the globe, I will hold up this globe to remind the audience that he is no longer debating the topic that we agreed to ahead of time. And I will bring the debate back to our agreed upon topic and refuse to allow him to deflect in this manner. If Nathan decides to keep evading our mutually agreed upon topic, that should send a very clear message to everyone watching that he is unable to reconcile TFE's observations and data with a flat Earth. When I created the final experiment, I set out to end the debate over the shape of the Earth. And I believe TFE has been incredibly successful in this regard. As evidence of this, there is currently a major exodus out of flat Earth. Starting with Amarel from Canada, who was one of the first Patreon supporters of Eric Dubé. He saw the writing on the wall when Eric Dubé did not share his excitement about TFE going to Antarctica. Eric Dubé said for years that there is never a 24-hour sun at any time in Antarctica. Dubé also correctly asserted that the heliocentric globe model must have a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. Yet Eric Dubé did not think it was a good idea to travel to Antarctica to see which side was correct. And he even turned down an offer to have his trip to Antarctica paid for by a glober named Mark Harmon.
Facts, that's completely true. Eric Dubé ran away from that because he didn't want to give up his grift.
Next is Jaron Campanella from the YouTube channel Jaronism. Jaron was one of the fortunate flat earthers who received a trip to Antarctica on my dime. And Jaron not only saw the 24-hour sun with his own eyes, but was also honest enough to admit that he had been wrong about the 24-hour sun.
Another reason Jaron went is because David Weiss and a few other, I think another one actually turned down the trip because they were the first ones, and they ran away from that because they didn't want to give up the grift because they're scammers.
And therefore wrong about flat Earth. Next is Alex Stein. Primetime 99 Alex Stein has been in the flat Earth community for a very long time, including participating in many debates on the topic on the Modern Day Debate channel. Alex Stein was also offered a free trip to Antarctica from political commentator Tim Pool, but elected not to join us. And although he did not join us, he has done the right thing in accepting the evidence and firsthand testimony we brought back of the 24-hour sun in Antarctica, and now acknowledges that flat Earth is false. Next is Robbie Davidson, who runs the very popular YouTube channel Celebrate Truth, which has over 150,000 subscribers. He is one of the OG flat earthers who has really been around since the beginning of the modern day flat Earth movement. Then there is Nick Havoc. He had been a flat earther for 9 years, but is now so thankful for the final experiment, which has brought him the truth, so he no longer has to believe and defend a lie. Then there's Melodome, Austin Thompson, Stefan Driver, Shifty Eyes Shady, Rose 777, David Conklin. There was even an entire small flat Earth group who all gave up flat Earth after TFE. The list goes on and on. There are far too many to name, and there are many who have asked me to not mention their name. This exodus will continue until a flat earther can show how TFE's experiments and observations can work on a flat Earth. But instead of doing this, the flat Earth community as a whole is taking the position that we did not actually go to Antarctica, or that we did not see the real sun, or that there is no 24-hour sun in Antarctica, despite the fact that we all witnessed it with our own eyes. They are arguing that we were in a giant studio filled with LED screens, or that the sun was created with a giant...
I don't know why there seems to be a bit of an echo. Sorry, I'm just listening to the live stream on my phone here, so I can kind of monitor it. So I'm just going to pause it here and just go wait and see how it goes. I have it playing in my headphones here, so I'm just going to try to see here, see if that comes back on. I'm wondering if it's just because I have... Try to see. Just give me a second to try something. Let's see here how this works.
laser pointer to fool us. And Dean Odell actually argues that Satan was behind the 24-hour sun, possibly becoming the sun itself in order to fool us. What the flat Earth community is lacking, and what is continuing to fuel this major exodus, is a complete lack of any intellectual, logical, and rational responses to our trip to Antarctica and Chile. Will Nathan Thompson be able to reverse this trend? Will Nathan Thompson be able to make sense of our experiments and observations on a flat Earth? Because that is Nathan Thompson's specific role.
That's not me. If you see it lagging on the YouTube video, that's actually Will Duffy's, his stream.
This debate to show how all of these things we observed and captured and experienced can work on a flat Earth. Here are just some of the observations and experiments we conducted for TFE in both Antarctica and Chile. First is the 24-hour sun. The sun never set the entire time we were at Union Glacier Camp, right at 80 degrees south in Antarctica. For years, the Flat Earth community was adamant that there was not a 24-hour sun in the south, in Antarctica. This rejection was fueled by the fact that a 24-hour sun in Antarctica is not possible on a flat Earth. And this is because flat earthers say Antarctica is not an island continent at the bottom of a globe, but rather a massive ice wall that encircles the world's continents and holds in all the oceans. If Antarctica is this giant ice ring on the outside of our known world, the sun would have to rise and set each day, as both sides agree that the sun moves through the sky once every 24 hours for everyone on Earth. In December of 2023, this is a year before TFE, there was a debate outside Nashville, Tennessee between Dean Odell and Greg Locke. The next day, there was a post-debate Q&A at a nearby hotel. And the room was filled with flat earthers, including Dean Odell, Flat Earth Dave, Austin Whitsitt, Joe Hanvey, and my opponent, Nathan Thompson. The first question at this event was about Antarctica and the 24-hour sun. After Dean Odell confidently stated during the debate that a 24-hour sun would live on a globe, Joe Hanvey spoke up at the Q&A and said he had a friend in Antarctica at that time, and she told him there was not a 24-hour sun, and the sun rose and set each day. Shortly after this, my opponent, Nathan Thompson, was given the mic, and he said he used to run the largest flat Earth group in the world for 6 years, and it was after he asked Globers to show him the 24-hour sun in Antarctica that his group was deleted and he was censored. This resolute position by the Flat Earth community that there was no 24-hour sun in Antarctica was because they knew it was not possible on a flat Earth. In addition to the 24-hour sun in Antarctica, there is also a 24-hour moon in Antarctica. This is not possible on a flat Earth for the same reason that a 24-hour sun is not possible. Up next is the South.
Nathan Thompson still moans and bitches about the whole thing about his Facebook page getting shut down. I was never on that, so I don't know. The only thing is, it happened years ago. I think he has another one actually, but he still moans and crabs about that. But yeah, so Will Duffy's done some background on Nathan Thompson. Even Nathan Thompson himself admitted that if there's a 24-hour sun in Antarctica, that he would falsify the Flat Earth model. Now Nathan Thompson's running away from that because he's realized he fucked up and the grift is up. But he's still going to cling on to that because it's all he has. And Nathan's invested his whole life that much into this delusion and pushing this false narrative. He has nothing else. Even right now, he's sitting in a RV loaned to him by somebody else, the Flat Earth, to try to go around and push this because it's this cult ideology that he's subscribed to with another one, and he's going around either sleeping in that or sleeping on people's couches because he's a bit of a loser who hasn't done anything productive with his life. The man's 39 years old and he's done nothing. He's got nothing. All he has is this. He'll cling to this to the day, probably the end of the days. He'll probably be one of the last shouting on the street corner or chasing children around playgrounds with flyers trying to claim that the Earth is still flat, that water doesn't curve, space isn't real, and he'll be that bald, fat, guy with a dirty T-shirt and living in a rundown van that people run away from, and he probably does some time in jail once in a while. He already has.
South Pole. We have not released our video on the South Pole yet as part of our channel's The Final Experiment series, but we actually had someone at the South Pole at the same time as we were at Union Glacier. And there cannot be a South Pole on a flat Earth. And I'm talking about a geographic South Pole. On a flat Earth, the cardinal direction south is all directions away from the North Pole. And therefore, the south on a flat Earth gets bigger and bigger indefinitely, and lines of longitude would get further and further apart. This means they would never converge into a single point in the south like we see in the north with the North Pole.
See, so right there, Bill Duffy has said one of the experiments he did was they measured the ground. They measured lines of latitude and showed how they go further and further away, but when they did the measurements, they found the lines of latitude actually converged down for the further south you went, south of the equator. So that was measuring the ground. Now, Nathan Thompson's going to claim he never did that, but he's just said this in his opening that this was done. And Nathan Thompson had all the time in the world to go and look at this evidence and then try to debunk it if this is what he thinks he can do. Like I said before, though, he neglected to do any of the such because he's not interested in finding the truth. He just wants to push his false narrative.
Up next is the South Celestial Pole. We both observed and filmed the South Celestial Pole while in Punta Arenas, Chile. A celestial pole is a point in the sky that the stars appear to rotate around in a circle as they move through the night sky. For the same reason you can't have a South Pole on a flat Earth, you cannot have a South Celestial Pole in the sky over a flat Earth. And it's worth noting that the 24-hour sun, the 24-hour moon, and the South Celestial Pole all move in the opposite direction that we observe them in the north. Also impossible on a flat Earth. And finally, we have southern flights. Flights far south on a flat Earth, for example, south of the Tropic of Capricorn, would require completely different flight paths than are actually experienced by passengers on these flights. They would also be of much longer flight lengths than flights in the north. As we already mentioned, a flat Earth pushes south to the outside, and distances on a flat Earth get further and further apart the further south you go.
Once again, that's measuring the ground because we're measuring distance, and flights use ground speed and distance relation to the ground for how far the flight is fast and moving.
YouTuber Critical Think, a Glober who was with us for the final experiment, flew home from Santiago, Chile to Sydney, Australia, non-stop after our trip to Antarctica. And he filmed the entire flight, and it was just over 13 and a half hours. Not only that, but his entire flight from Santiago, Chile to Sydney, Australia was over ocean.
And I've actually done a video on this, showing this exact flight, and it falsifies Flat Earth, as well as many other flights, especially non-stop flights. Flat Earthers run away from them. They can't. They don't want to address them because they falsified their pizza covered by a magical salad bowl.
After leaving South America, the flight flew over no major land masses, including flying completely south of New Zealand before landing in Australia. This flight is just not possible on a flat Earth. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that opening statement. Dan, I'll let you know, folks, it's your first time here at Modern Debate. I'm your host, Dr. Coons. We are a fully neutral debate channel. That means only debates, no interviews, with fair moderation as well. You're welcome, no matter what walk of life you're from. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button right now, because we have plenty more debates coming up in the future. You don't want to miss out on that. Great over. Nathan is open as well. Thank you very much for being with us. Well, Nathan, the floor is all yours.
Thanks so much.
All right, so let's get ready for the derp. This is always fun. I'm not gonna go through this whole debate. Let's get into the questions in which Nathan gets absolutely roasted and then starts kind of running around and disappearing and stuff like that, because he can't handle the fact that he's just a giant man baby.
For moderating, James. Congratulations on the channel. Just loading. I remember. Yeah, he's done 1,000 subscribers back then. So it's nice to see you doing well. On top of that, Will, I really appreciate your stuff there in Antarctica. Since then.
Oh, by the way, Nathan Thompson takes a good part of his beginning here just pushing merch and trying to grift.
I have multiple social media platforms over a million views a month because I've been talking about Flat Earth for years. It's my bread and butter. I eat, sleep, and
He's talking crap. He's not. I've looked up his social media platforms. He's not getting 1 million views a month, maybe a few hundred.
Flat Earth, I don't know, 200 meetups. I used to run the official Flat Earth discussion. 4% censored. We had 155,000 members there. We didn't allow cursing. We didn't allow insults. We just got down to business. Answering questions. If you guys have questions, ask in the super chat. We'll get to them at the end. Please share the show. Really appreciate that. But yeah, thanks for your time. Just Flat Earth is absolutely exploding on my social media platforms now. Thanks, really appreciate it. So also thing was lots of talk, not a lot of proof. I would have liked to see more proof of globe or that the final experiment.
Yeah, just for reference here, I just looked at Nathan Thompson's TikTok. This is where he mainly is on, and he's pulling maybe a few hundred views. Maybe like on his most recent ones, he's got 304, 776, another one 283, 731, 841, 500. Yeah, so quantified Truth Tour episode 7. Yeah, he's got 500 on that one there. So yeah, he's got maybe a couple that have got a few that maybe go over 1,000, but most of his are numbers that even I'm pulling. He's got like obviously he's got a lot more Flat Earth followers than I do. Like he's got a lot more, but his numbers, I'm telling you right now, just looking at his numbers and stuff like that, he's pulling the same numbers on average that I am, and I have maybe like 1/4 of the followers, because I'm not on TikTok nearly as much. Like Nathan Thompson lives and breathes it. That's all he has. That's all he has to do. He doesn't have a family. I have a wife and 3 kids. I got other projects I have going on. I have a job. I have things. You know, Nathan, this is what he does. So he thinks he's doing something great, and honestly, what he's doing is nothing spectacular. You know, for what the numbers he has. But he has like nearly 9,000 followers on TikTok, and his numbers are no better than mine. And I have about 1,200. I'm not, it's a million bullshit.
And Flat Earth, but all we got was talk. You'll see the difference from my presentation. I'm going to actually put images and show evidence to support my claims that his son did debunk the Flat Earth. Now, Romans 8:28 says all things work for good for those that love Creator and are called for His purpose. I've been featured in hit pieces where global is trying to blow up, and always backfires on them because all they do is make Flat Earth more popular, and it's true. So when it comes to Flat Earth, any publicity is good publicity. I learned about biblical cosmology from a guy named Michael Lavery. My brain coach for 10 years. We were studying neuroscience, Genesis, neuroplasticity, and one day they say, yeah, you're looking at Flat Earth, and I just about drop the phone after he told me he spent 7 months looking through it. I thought he would say, oh, I heard about it Tuesday. So, smartest guy I know, been looking for 7 months. I didn't sleep for 3 days. Then I went and got a camera. The camera I got was a Nikon T900. That's this camera right here. This camera has been converted into infrared. It's what the military uses to see super far. Then
I don't think the military uses the Nikon P900. But you know what? It's an interesting claim. So I'm gonna look it up. Let's say U.S. military, U.S. I have, okay. Right, so right, so I brought up, does the U.S. military use Nikon P900 cameras? I got nothing on that. Let's just try the military. I see. I doubt. See, I knew this was bullshit because the Nikon P900 or Nikon Coolpix 1000, and even the one coming out, the P1100, they're only like, they're just consumer built all in one cameras. They got a small sensor. I've done a video on this in which I actually showed. I have a digital camera myself, much older one than even the 900, but it's got a much larger sensor in it, and I can take just as good a picture, if not probably better, of the celestial navigation, not celestial navigation, of celestial objects, because I have such a large sensor. It can draw. I have a larger area for the to pick up celestial objects like stars and planets and stuff like that. So I actually showed, and then it's got, instead of a built-in lens, I have different lenses I can put on and different stuff like that. So it's kind of like what the P900 is, kind of a entry-level professional camera in a way. It's but it's actually about 8 years older than the P900 or P1000, and it still probably performs just as well. I can take just as nice pictures, and I can do the zoom if I want. I just get this lens, stick it on there. I bought one for 30 pounds, that with 300 millimeters. So not quite, obviously not as good as the P900, but I can, the P900 and P1000 is 1,000-pound camera. I paid probably all in for mine, plus the extra lens, which I was able to find at a shop. It was used but in excellent condition, and I paid, maybe about just over 100 pounds in. So 1/10 the price, and I can get the same kind of shots and are even better because I learn how to use equipment, as well as I have a telescope. I can get a ring that go on it, and I can mount it to my telescope. And now I have 307 times zoom instead of 125 zoom that the P1000 has. And the P1100 isn't going to have any more zoom. It's just going to have slightly better software in it. Now we're going to look here and see what does use. It's infrared. infrared. Because obviously Nathan has made a claim, but let's just see what they're using. Military applications, thermal imaging, no place to hide. Oh, yes, okay. Night vision goggles, work completely in a completely dark room. I don't see anything describing them using AP and Nikon camera at all. Look, got some here. Impact of infrared thermal imaging of modern warfare, and one of these look like any kind of Nikon camera that he's talking about. Look, the VA. I don't see anything that says about that. VA SO1 6100. Oh dear, look at that. Well, I find no evidence, and unless he wants to cite that source, which I know he would never because he's talking bullshit, of the military using a P900 camera with that's been modified. Now, funny enough, he showed on his TikTok his modified P900, and funny enough, it looked a lot like a filter that I could put on my phone or on my telescope. It just looked pink. That was it. It didn't look like anything special, because you think thermal imaging or infrared, you think you'd see something like this, or something like this, where you can see heat signatures, you can see heat, right? Camera Marine on eBay, Earth's largest marketplace, free shipping available. A marine infrared camera for maritime security. He showed it, and I said he even did it in daytime, and nothing looked like it was glowing. This looked like it didn't even look like this. It looked just like, I don't know if I can bring it up. So let's see if I can bring it up. I did see it. This is a while back. Let's see if I can find it on my phone. Not it. See here. Bring up the camera here. So this is what Nathan's claiming is his thermal imaging of his camera. This is taken during the day, so everything should be kind of I'll play the video for you. Okay, I want you to see something here. See if I can bring this in. Okay. One second here. Now, out of his video, right? You see there's a pickup truck, right? The pickup truck headlights on, somebody's driving it. If this is an infrared camera, the hood there slash bonnet and the grill there would be glowing. It would be absolutely humming. It looked bright because infrared, it would be picking up the heat and infrared coming off of that. Right, so that vehicle would be absolutely freaking smoking. You'd see that if I can show you back to where it idea here. Okay, now these are people here, right? So bring it in. Okay, now this is just body heat. So this is, here is a vehicle here. Here's the inside. This is heat coming off, right? This is people heat. So they're at what, 98 degrees Celsius, 98 degrees Fahrenheit, right? About 30 odd degrees Celsius. Look how bright they're glowing, right? He claims his camera here is a infrared camera, and that's the image he's getting, right? You got headlamps, which are DRLs. That's daytime. There's daytime ring lights, they're not very bright, right? And don't have a lot of heat. And I don't know if my camera's doing me any justice here. There. And then you got the houses, but yeah, the inside is not showing heat. That vehicle should be glowing, especially around the engine bay and stuff. Nothing. It's not an infrared camera. It's a camera with a pink filter on it. If I pull my telescope out right now, I can show you the same kind of filter I could put over top of my my lens, and I'd be like, "Oh look, I have infrared." Bullshit. He's bull crapping. What he's done is he's stuck a little filter over top of it, and he's claiming he has infrared because he's seen images like this, and then he thinks that he's got infrared because he thinks it looks the same. It doesn't. And I already debunked him on this. I actually did a video, I stitched it, and I showed it. I did the exact same thing using my my phone, and I stuck a little filter over top of it and looked exactly the same as his. See, the thing is, I've used infrared and UV cameras as the automotive mechanic for looking at look for heat sources and or look for blockages in cooling systems, or sometimes you can use it for finding electrical faults and stuff like that, because the infrared going off different things. And so electrical, you can see where the electricity is flowing, not flowing, right? I've done that. I don't know, what are you doing there? I took on something here. Some imaging, right? Here's a camera. This is what Nathan's claiming he has, right? He thinks it debunks the Earth, right? But even here, you can see the electrical and not, and it can show different heat sources. Infrared, here is a, so this is showing different colors of heat. So here shows the heat gauge there, right? Like I said, that vehicle should have been showing like white. When I say that, I mean, here you are, 42 degrees, right? That engine bay, that engine bay should be showing like absolutely cooking, and you get nothing, right? That's just so, yeah. See, he's claiming that camera is infrared. It isn't, and I've already destroyed him on that one. So let's continue on.
We upgraded to the P1000, which is 125 times technology as far surpassed the globalized and local religion. So I spent about a week on the beach, debunked the globe, then I started to flat earth discussion. I've been meetups ever since.
Just for reference, I've done stuff now. I don't have a 125 zoom, but I have the Galaxy S24 Ultra. I have 100 times zoom, so not, you know, fairly close. And I debunked the flat Earth with that. I have a telescope over there, which is a it's just a refractor. It's 175 times zoom, and I have my Newtonian reflector, which is 307 times zoom. So his and then if I hook up my camera onto my refractor, I've used my my mobile phone, and I've done this, and then I can zoom into that. So then I can get even more zoom than that. Over the phone, digital zoom as well. Because the Nikon uses zoom up to a certain point, physical zoom, and then I think it's 100 times, and then after that it goes to digital zoom for the next 25, I believe. I know it has the end, the 100 full 125 includes the digital zoom. But yeah, telescopes are, you get better images, and you can kick the crap out of a Nikon P1000, and they disproved the flat Earth.
A couple months ago, someone called me and said, I got an RV, you want to go around doing interviews, gathering products for a website, doing meetups like I've been doing. So now I'm in an RVTO, and we've got all sorts of stuff in the community, like flat Earth, leasing map, blankets.
Here comes the grift.
If you don't have a flat Earth Sun Moon Zodiac clock app, download that. The referral code is NEO, and you can
Never download the flat Earth clock Zodiac app. It is still leaking data to this day, and Flat Earth Dave refuses to fix it. And I believe there's actually there's a actual earther who has had it that is actually looking at suing Dave for debunking, for leaking his data. I think that Austin Whitsitt probably should, because Austin Whitsitt lost several $100 in crypto coins because of his password was leaked, and it's the same password he used for one of his crypto wallets. As well as Dave is in loads of trouble with Europe and stuff because of GDPR and leaking his leaking data, and not deleting information and data stuff that he had, or divulging how he's using that data or how he's storing the data. So he's actually in a lot of trouble for facing fines as well as a lawsuit. So yeah, do not download that app. If you do have that app, then go on to MC Tunes channel, and he's actually looked into this. He's got actually a team of IT specialists working on this, and they can tell you how to try to get rid of it, and how to write Flat Earth Dave, and to ask him to get rid of to delete your information, and then delete the app, and how to kind of do it and try to change it so that you don't end up doxing yourself. Because right now anybody can go in there if they have the I think it's just like the basic HTML. I believe he has that. Anybody can go in there, and they can change profiles. They can get all your information, get your passwords, get your location, look at chats you've done on there, and email and everything, and they can change your profiles and everything on there. People have actually done it to Flat Earth Dave himself. So yeah, don't get that app, or any Flat Earth app. Most of them are just security nightmares.
You can get tinfoil hats at bonafidetruth.com, and you can find any of my social media links, bonafidetruth.com/Nathan. Now,
You can get tinfoil hats on Temu and on Amazon for a lot cheaper. Look just as good.
let's get right into it, guys. Could you get this share screen?
Ready for you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. All right. So if we look on a globe, and I know you can hold up a sign, go ahead. This is the curvature rate for the globe. It would curve.
It's not. That is drop off tangent, 8 inches per mile squared. It isn't actually measuring the curvature. It's measuring the drop off tangent from sea level, from where the land you're standing on, and straight out, and it's a tangent, and it works. And that's all it's for. It doesn't take into atmosphere whatsoever, or nor does it take into curvature. It's just a drop off imaginary line.
In all directions, like a ball, 8 inches per mile squared, or 0.666 feet per mile squared. That would give you 66.6 feet of drop over 10 miles. But from mile 40 to 50, you're talking 600 feet of drop, because it's exponential.
Yeah, it doesn't take into account anything to do with like your altitude, like observer height, including your height. So, and it doesn't also take into how our eyes work. Also looking through a medium like the atmosphere, which has got different kind of like water particles in it, air, different gases, which does refract and bend light. Doesn't take into account at all, or doesn't take into account. We don't look straight out like this over the horizon. We look at the horizon, so you actually look slightly down, as I showed you in my previous video, in which I proved that the horizon does not rise to eye level. We look tiny bit down, and then we can see anything that's coming up above that, and then we can gauge from there. Now, obviously, if it's just a tiny bit, you won't be able to gauge that. If there's only like a foot or something like that, you can't see of something unless there's markings that you can kind of gauge it by. You're not going to tell that much. So if it's like a little bit, but so you don't look straight out, we actually look slightly down, because the horizon does not rise to eye level.
We used to told the folks over the horizon, and that's curvature of the Earth. Well, the horizon, formerly known as curvature of the Earth, is not physical or geometric. If you read Phil Metzger's book on art of perspective, it says, what is one linear perspective? It details the horizon versus eye level. And it says,
Yeah, that's referring to art, like if you're drawing, and how to get horizon or have perspective in works of art. That's not, he refers to this quite a bit, but it's talking about drawings and paintings, and not actual physical observations in the real world.
In the railroad picture, you can see where the flat land meets the sky. That imaginary line where the sky meets the land is the horizon. So on a globe, we have a physical geometric horizon at 1.22 miles times the square root of the Earth's height feet. So for a 1 foot observer, it's 1.2 miles away. For a 6 foot observer, it's 3 miles away. Now this picture on the right is 1 foot.
Yeah, that's not taken into taking atmospheric conditions and refraction into account. And we do understand refraction. That's how my glasses work.
Observer, horizon should be 1.2 miles away, and the horizon is 9.5 miles. So we don't have a physical geometric horizon. This is the famous picture from Joshua Wiki from 57.25 miles. Should be about 2,000 feet drop. Now the wall of the building in this picture is 1,350 feet. Actually, I took this picture from an ocean and a helicopter with the
Josh in the wiki was actually 150, 200, about 100 some feet in elevation. And if you look at the Chicago skyline, they use this quite a bit. What they don't mention is the fact of you can't see any streets, you can't see any shorter buildings under a certain point. And in fact, when this was shown on the news, because it was a very rare observation, it had to do with the atmospheric conditions were just perfect. We had a high refraction lapse rate. The refraction was quite high, and you're able to see a little bit more than you normally can. But it's completely possible from the altitude they use at, and the fact you can only see the tall buildings. You couldn't see on each side of that. Here, there's actually loads of buildings on this side here, houses, all sorts, streets, all sorts. There's some buildings here, but the shorter buildings in here you can't see. There's loads, and there's a whole street, there's a whole city here you can't see, and there's also a whole bunch of stuff this side you can't see because it's covered by the curvature of the Earth. In fact, if you look into this and look at all the data, this actually fits the globe model absolutely perfect and falsifies the flat Earth.
The infrared 900 from 51 miles away, just got above the trine, and the entire sky is visible, none of it should have been visible, should all have been obstructed by the imaginary elusive curvature that can never
Making claims, but yet never been proven. He's never shown these. He's making these claims.
be found. Here's 6 lighthouses that should be obstructed by curvature, but they're clearly visible.
Once again, making claims, but yet he will not show any evidence showing how they distance and what they're shown from. I've shown several lighthouses on here and actually how they fit the globe perfectly. Or flat earthers were lying about their elevation.
Because the Earth is flat. Here's Mount San Jacinto, visible light, Mount San Jacinto with infrared. You can clearly see it 123 miles away.
Once again, he's saying that, but what's the altitude from the observer height? Never gives that. So, and I believe that this actually has been debunked as well. So
We've also got videos of mountains, sunsets behind them. No curvature on the
I don't see any mountains in that, do you?
surface of the Earth. So I don't know.
And if the sun's setting behind them, that falsifies the flat Earth, because that means that the sun is lower than this kind of good mountains. How high are the mountains? Maybe what? Let's just say 15,000 feet ish. I'm probably being generous. And if the sun's setting behind them, then that means they're going down below them. And that means that the sun is going behind, dipping down. Flat Earth claims that the sun stays above and rotates around the top of the Earth. And if it's sitting down, then it's flat Earth falsified. Thanks, Nathan. Welcome to the globe. Complain.
Why we're pretending that going to Antarctica and looking at the sky is going to somehow end the argument about the floor.
Yeah, Nathan says that quite a bit because he doesn't want to address all the observations in the sky because they falsify the flat Earth.
Here we have a record photograph of 75 miles. The RDA parameters should be 50,416 feet of missing curvature that we can't find very elusive. Can't find it anywhere. They got my
Yeah, and that was actually shown to prove work on the globe fine when you look at the distance and the altitude.
90 kilometers over 100 miles. Search and rescue. We've got laser tests. You can zoom in on distant objects.
Lasers refract in the atmosphere. Fish over water. I've already proven this. And that's a small fishing boat he's showing there.
Clearly not obstructed by curvature. Now, I highly recommend, guys, test all things and hold fast to that, which is true. Once you go flat, you never pull back. Be the change you want to see on flat Earth. The truth is incontrovertible. Malice is going to attack it. Ignorance is going to try and divide it. But in the end, there it is. And you can lead globe earthers to flat water, but you cannot get them to put their sign down and critically about the shade of the Earth.
I have actually observations showing ships. Because the only thing Nathan never shows is little fishing boats, but I show actually cargo ships and disappearing bottom up over the curvature of the Earth, as well as I show large wind turbines that are wind farms that are out in the ocean that are 5 and 8 miles away, and I was standing with just halfway machines and showing that you can see the wind turbines dipping down, and you can see where the platforms were, and you can see them less. You can see where it goes less and less, and eventually to the point where there's a service platform that you come up with a boat to go up and do service on the turbines, and it shows them actually disappearing below the curvature of the Earth. And in fact, it gets to the point where the turbines are dipping down that much that it looks like the fins are coming around, the blades are coming around and actually hitting the water, but they're not. And I've done this over you can look at my video. I think I have it on here a while back, and did it over the Irish Sea just last summer. And I have some more observations I'll be doing here as well. I'm going to get my telescopes out, and I'm going to show the sun setting without changing angular size, which would be required on the flat Earth, but it doesn't do that. I've already shown that before anyways, with just using a filter on my camera. I'm going to do it again and watch the sun actually set. And also I'm going to show further objects disappearing over the curvature of the Earth, because I do have, sometimes you get boats and stuff. I live not too far from the sea, but I have already shown that. But I'm going to show ships and not little tiny sailboats or little tiny fishing boats that they zoom in on, and because the boat's so small, you can't see it, and then they zoom in and they say, but it never shows it being obstructed halfway, and then them zooming in and then claiming that, and then seeing the whole thing. This is what Flat Earthers claim. They claim that you can see a ship or a boat that's like obstructed by the curvature of the Earth, and then when you zoom in further into it, then you can see the rest of the boat, like the boat like rises up. But we ask them to show that, they show you a little tiny boat away out in the ocean, and then they zoom in and so you can see the boat. Just the fact, the perspective, and then you can see it easier because it all comes in uniformly side to side, up and down, and you can see it was never over the curvature in the first place.
That's all I got, James. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much for that opening statement.
So all Nathan gave was a little lies. But one thing he never actually did, and this was agreed upon, and they even agreed upon at the very beginning of this, is that it was to show how the observations and the stuff John done during the final experiment in Antarctica in December works on the flat Earth. Nathan never actually addressed this.
What we're going to do is kick it into the open dialogue. Before we do that, just talk about other. Keep things first. Yeah. Please do that. Like, we appreciate your support.
So you can only live on a global.
How?
Well, hold on, let's go back.
Sure. Hey, Nathan, you
Which is true. Once you
Yeah. Please do that. Like, we appreciate your support. Yeah. You are watching live. This is your opportunity. Modern day debate has just put the poll in the live chat. This is a great opportunity to vote on whether or not you think your is flat, low, or you are unsure. With that, we can open dialogue. Gentlemen, floor is all yours.
Sure. Hey, Nathan, you just said something false in your opening statement. I'd like you to correct it. You said once you go flat, you never glow back. Would you please correct that right now?
No, we go flat as far as testing yourself. You might have flip-flops that have tested yourself for 10 years, like I have. But once you do that,
Yeah, Nathan's wasted 10 years of his life. Sad, isn't it? Really, really sad.
there's no way you're going back to believing you're on a hard ball that strangers went to Antarctica and the Sky.
Hey, Nathan, I know you're personal friends with Jaron and Robbie, and I really don't think you should do this to them right now. Were they true flat earthers? Because they're not anymore.
I don't care what some things about the ship.
Hey, Nathan, you made a false statement. You said once you go flat, you never glow back. That's false. Your own friends Jaron and Robbie are no longer flat. Will you please correct your false statement right now?
All right. So move on to the evidence.
Yep, he will never admit that he's wrong, even when brought up, and he knows that there's loads of flat earthers have left. In fact, there's somebody on TikTok called Max Diesel. He used to be good friends with Nathan for about 7 years, and he has actually left the flat Earth and realized that Nathan lied to him. Right? And this is a fellow who had Nathan Thompson's personal phone number and everything, and met him. And when he finally come to realize that he feels so much better, he's actually he's happier he's ever been. He's not going to teach his children flat Earth at all. He knows that the globe is real, and yeah, he's left flat Earth, and there's several others who have left flat Earth as well on TikTok, as well as people that Will Duffy's mentioned, as well as Craig from FTFE and Michael from MC Tune, as they've all got lists and lists and lists of people who have left the flat Earth.
You're off topic, Nathan. That's not what this debate is. Okay, so you won't even correct your mistake. That's really sad. Okay, so Nathan, let's start with an easy one. Were you aware that while we were in Antarctica, we live streamed?
Yes, I was aware there were live streams being done.
How did we live stream Antarctica on a flat Earth? Please explain that on a flat Earth.
Well, FYI, kind of funny, Nathan Thompson's using Starlink, but you won't admit it.
You can only live stream on a globe.
How did we live stream on a flat Earth, Nathan? This is your job in this debate is to argue how what we did and what we observed is possible on a flat Earth.
I only know this is somebody who actually has seen Nathan Thompson run into him, seen the Starlink receiver on his RV. So there's somebody. I know it's a bit of secondhand information, and you can say it's hearsay, but that's what somebody who had seen him and come across him had seen, and they knew quite well, and could see that that's what he was using to get his internet.
How did we live stream on a flat Earth? Please tell me.
You had 6 arguments.
Hey, Nathan.
Hey,
Hey, Nathan. Hey, Nathan. Nathan, this is part of the final experiment. How did we live stream?
So Nathan wants to stick to the 6 arguments that he presented, but yet Nathan has not stuck to the arguments whatsoever. He just gets galloped onto his script that he does all the time.
Antarctica, please answer.
Okay, live stream from Antarctica was one of your 6 arguments. Talk about 24-hour sun, 24-hour moon, celestial south pole, airplane flights south. If you want to stick with your arguments, talk about those are from fallacies and red herring fallacies. But how live stream?
They're not for the consequence or red herring fallacies, because the whole point of this debate was, did the final experiment prove the flat Earth, or did it does it work on the flat Earth, or did the final experiment destroy the flat Earth? This is what it was all about. Talk about the final experiment, and he's already saying the fallacies, but they're not red herring because the topic is the final experiment and what was done. So they're not red herring fallacies. The red herring fallacy would mean it's off topic, which is what Nathan's doing.
How did we get internet in Antarctica, Nathan?
The same way we have internet right now.
How did we have internet in Antarctica?
So James, he's asking how the same.
Okay, so Nathan, you know the flat Earth position is that internet comes through undersea cables. Is that your position?
No, definitely not. It comes from multiple ways. It's a collective ensemble of things going on. You've got undersea fiber optic submarine communication cables. You've got towers in front of mountains, and the microwave towers have a Fresnel zone. And that Fresnel zone has to account for obstruction, trees, buildings. One of the most famous videos I had on my YouTube channel was raised by your government overlords. Was a microwave engineer talking about how does count curvature.
His YouTube channel got deleted because he was harassing children on the schoolyard.
Sending microwave signals over long distances.
Okay, so we were at 80 degrees south, so there's no undersea cables, and there were no towers. There's no cell service in Antarctica. So do you have any idea how we could have got internet?
Yeah, they might bounce it off.
Okay.
Oh, so Nathan admits that you can have tropospheric propagation. Oh, so we could actually bounce signals off of the atmosphere and go over the curvature. Oh, thanks, Nathan. Welcome to the globe. Thanks for playing.
Okay, so that's the easy one. Now we'll get to the hard.
Because he actually denies tropospheric propagation of radio signals, but now he's admitted that that could be possible. I love how he debunks himself all the time.
Stuff. There is a South Pole. I'm sure you've seen people take a picture at the South Pole, right?
I haven't been there. Have you been there?
Have you seen people take a picture at the South Pole, Nathan?
I haven't been there.
Have you seen people take a picture of themselves standing at the South Pole? Yes or no?
Going to an icy wasteland and calling a place the South Pole, and then taking a picture there doesn't prove you're on a cartoon spinning ball.
Okay. So Nathan, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to do me a favor. I need you to tell me where on a flat Earth the South Pole is where they're taking their picture with that pole. Where is it on here?
Okay, so what you do is you go to a spot on that flat Earth, it's deserted, icy wasteland, and then you call it the South Pole, and then you get all over, go there and take a picture in front of the sign that says, this is your block of the South Pole, and then you pretend that's how it works on the globe.
Okay, so Nathan, that pole that they're taking a picture with, where is that on this map?
I don't know, I haven't been there.
You have no idea where it is?
No, I don't know, I haven't been there.
Okay, so I'm afraid you're not very...
She claims that there's a pole somewhere in some icy wasteland, and that people go there and take a picture. But how does he know that if he's obviously never been there? But he claims it's there. So asking where is this, being that he's 10 years and studied the Earth and proven the flat Earth, you think he'd know where the South Pole is on the flat Earth. But so far I've seen Will Duffy ask this several times, and not a single flat earther can answer this question.
Well researched then, because the South Pole in Antarctica is one of the main differences between flat Earth and globe. And you have no idea. So if you wanted to get to the South Pole, you have no idea how you'd get there?
No, I've never been there. Did you go there?
I've not been there either.
You haven't been there, I haven't been there.
But guess what, Nathan? We're not going to say that a place doesn't exist if we haven't been there, right? Have you been to the dome?
No, I haven't been to the dome.
Okay, perfect. So don't use an argument with me.
Oh, boom. So he claims there's a dome, but if you ask Nathan Thompson, ever seen the dome? He goes, no. How do you know it exists? Well, he believes it. Okay, but so he thinks there's a dome, but he's never seen it, never touched it, doesn't know it exists. But he doesn't. He claims that the South Pole doesn't exist, but he's never been there. I doubt Nathan Thompson. I asked Nathan Thompson, does Japan exist? And he goes, yes. I go, have you ever been there? And he goes, no. I go, how do you know it exists? Well, because other people have been there. Yes, but have you been there? You know, there's lots of places to say that. He'll believe some stuff. But you ask Nathan Thompson if he thinks that the Arctic exists, he'll say yes. But if you ask if he's been there, he'll say no.
That you wouldn't use for yourself, okay? There is a pole, Nathan, that people can go to. Guess what? They fly there, and they take their picture with it. I want to know where that is on Flat Earth. Can you reconcile a South Pole with a Flat Earth, yes or no?
Yes, I just detailed how you go to a specific icy wasteland, you put up a sign, or go look, that says, this is your modular South Pole that you're upside down on, and then you take a picture because you're a little board where you think that proves the shape of the floor. It doesn't the shape of the floor, well, you're going to get better proof than this, no one's buying this.
Hey, Nathan, you're off topic again. I'm not here to prove the globe. We're here to see if the final experiment observation.
Yeah, but Nathan can't say where that is. So he's just going to run away from that. So yeah, he's disproved his flat Earth because he can't even reconcile where that is.
And experiments work on a flat Earth, and you're not showing how they work. So, hey Nathan, we had someone at the South Pole, and you have no idea where that is. And is there anything else there, or is it just a pole?
I don't know how I had there.
Okay, so you haven't done research.
Flat Earthers never do research. This isn't anything new.
Okay, so Nathan, guess what? There is a station there. It's called the Amundsen Scott South Pole Station. It's massive. So Nathan, you're going to have a very hard time.
There's pictures of it, and there's videos of people being there, walking out of the Amundsen Scott Station and going to where the geographic pole is. And it's not exactly on a geographic pole. There's a geographic. It doesn't actually move. But it does move because it's the ice actually shifts a little bit. So they every year they put up a new ceremonial pole, which I think one team designs the top on it, and it has like a brass top or a steel top, and then there's a ceremony where they present it. The next crew that comes in for the new I think it's the summertime, then they put a new one on and stuff like that. But yeah, the geographic pole it moves a little bit because actually I think this is the ceremonial pole moves. I shouldn't say the geographic pole moves, but the ceremonial pole moves a little bit, so it's always off by just a tiny bit. Because of the shifts and stuff like that, and it's moving a bit.
Defending flat Earth, if you can't even show where this location is that people visit, that my friend visited, and took information for us from the South Pole. So we're going to go ahead and move on because you have failed at reconciling a South Pole with a flat Earth. All right, next we're going to talk about the South Celestial Pole. Are you familiar with what a celestial pole is?
Yeah, you're familiar with what a red herring is.
Okay, so if you're familiar with what a celestial pole is, can you please explain how there's a South Celestial Pole on a flat Earth where the stars go in the opposite direction than they do in the north?
Yeah, no problem. James, can I get the picture, please?
I now watch as Nathan now runs away from that. He's already been running anyways.
Chris, go. Red herring fallacy. Red herring fallacy is the logical fallacy that occurs when someone distracts from the main topic of the argument by introducing an irrelevant topic.
What's the topic of the debate? What's the topic of the debate?
I'm still talking.
You need to tell me what the topic of the debate is before you can establish that I'm going off topic. What is the topic?
You're talking the topic is the final experiment and flat Earth, which has to do with the ground, and you're talking about a celestial South Pole.
Part of the final experiment was documenting the South Celestial Pole. The South Celestial Pole is not possible on Flat Earth. Your job is to show how it is. Can you do it, yes or no?
See, Nathan doesn't realize because he's too freaking stupid to realize a red herring fallacy would be like Nathan would say, Will Duffy is wrong about the flat Earth because he's a Democrat, and Democrats don't understand the shape of the Earth. That'd be a red herring fallacy. Him bringing up the South Celestial Pole and then showing how it conforms to how it falsifies the flat Earth, and how the observation would actually be able to validate the globe is not a red herring fallacy. That is completely on topic because it has to do with the rotation of the Earth, and also shows how if you observe this, then we have two models, and this is predictions. Which one works? Is it which one would work? And you can say, oh, look, the heliocentric globe model works, and that works perfectly, but yet the flat Earth stationary over with a dome over top of it, that would not work. So the South Celestial Pole, and the fact that they rotate clockwise, and there is a central point called Sigma Octantis, and then there's one in the north that rotates counterclockwise, being Polaris, and then at the equator we can see the stars going rising in the east, setting in the west, and coming over that line. But then you should look a little bit to one way, you'll see it rotation one way, you'll see the arc going this way, and the other way you'll see the arc going the opposite way, and it'll start arcing, and it'll go more. And as you look to see more and more, that works on the globe, but it does not work on the flat Earth. It's not a red herring fallacy. It actually is a valid observation which can validate or falsify a model and predictions.
You haven't seen the videos that we have of the South Celestial Pole? Sure. Will it change your mind?
No, Nathan will never change his mind. He's going to live and die this because he lives and breathes it, because his whole personality is flat Earth. That's all he has. That's all he's clung to this and made it part of who he is. So he's kind of a religious flirt, and also the fact is that he's a grifter who's made this his whole life.
Okay. Give me one second.
Take your time. We're gonna get shown something. Finally, we get to show time. Oh my God, that's story time. Ears are gonna start bleeding.
I am a little surprised that you're taking this position that there is no South Celestial Pole, that I need to show it to you first, but that's okay.
You said they documented it. I'd like to see what you documented. That way I can detail out how this red herring has nothing to do with the shape of the floor.
Yeah. Funny enough, if you watch later on, you'll see that Nathan contradicts himself on this. Quite funny.
That's not the topic of the debate, Nathan.
Yeah, you thought your final experiment ended flat Earth, just the shape of the floor, Will.
There you go, South Celestial Pole. Those stars are rotating in the opposite direction of the north.
You took that in an article?
Robert Schwartz did.
Oh yeah, and by the way, that's 90 degrees straight up. When you look at that video, that you can see Amundsen Scott Station, and then you can see what that is actually looking straight up 90 degrees, which falsifies the flat Earth, because that'd be impossible to flat Earth.
Okay, cool. No problem. Thanks for showing me. Now,
Can you reconcile the South Celestial Pole with the flat Earth? Yes or no?
A logical fallacy that occurs when someone distracts from the main topic of an argument by introducing an irrelevant topic. Now,
Nathan's running away from that again. That's all he does the whole thing, really.
stars have nothing to do with the shape of the floor. Even Einstein has something called a kinematic equivalence, the Ptolemaic model.
And he doesn't know what a kinematic equivalence is that Einstein actually cited. He's making up words now. He's doing Austin Whitson.
Explain the movement of everything in the sky for 1,400 years. It was unchanged for 1,400 years. I'd like to stop sharing my screen.
You also noticed that James was about to speak up, and then Nathan actually kind of engaged because he just was running away, and James is going to start pulling him on it here soon.
And show you on the watch. It's the fraud clock. They had a fraud clock built 610 years ago, which predates the gravity religion by 200 years. 666 again. But they had all this mapped out 1,400 years on the.
Yeah, that doesn't disprove gravity. The prog clock is just it just uses it's like that the one they found in and all the rock and stuff that on that boat. Essentially all it does is it uses gears and stuff, and it just kind of gives a it just kind of maps out patterns. It doesn't actually prove anything. It just kind of shows certain patterns and stuff in with how the sun and the moon and stuff like that you can see. But it's only works in the fact is that you could say every Tuesday you go out and you go dancing with your wife, and then on Wednesdays you go to work, 5 days a week, and Wednesdays you go shopping. That's just showing patterns that reoccur all the time. That's all the prog clock is, as well as the Antikytherian mechanism. It just shows where it's just all these things, and it's just timings. It's like I said, it's a clock, but it cannot make predictions with any kind of accuracy. It can't but Nathan thinks it does. All he has is a kind of an expensive fancy watch. You get Nathan. Mine shows the globe. Mine also shows my heart rate, how many steps I've done, my how many calories I've burned, and what temperature is outside. Does yours show that? Yeah. So talk is crap.
Full model of what's going on in the sky, assuming a flat Earth, and also celestial navigate, getting angles, these stars and the sun, and then navigate the ocean.
Yeah, celestial navigation only works on the globe, and it does not work on the flat Earth. If you try to use flat Earth measurements or like geometry to do celestial navigation, you will be lost.
Assuming a flat Earth, so this guy argument really is helping your local engine. And it's right here.
So Nathan, you should have done a little bit better homework. You could have watched our videos. But you are not explaining how the South
Once again, this choppiness is down to actually Will Duffy's internet connection. It's not mine.
pole can exist on a flat Earth. We observed it. It's a natural phenomenon. So we know it exists. So the real question is, can you reconcile what we observed with our own eyes, what we filmed, with a flat Earth, yes or no?
Yeah, got this flat Earth. We can actually show star trails in the north, star trails in the south, 24-hour hours in the south, 24-hour hours in the south, and rainbows, and halos, and sun dogs, and eclipses. Just about everything you see in the sky can be.
No, it doesn't. It fails on so many different things, and the only way he can even get to kind of sort of work on some of those is by inciting magical things that have never been seen and can't be proven, and then he has to manipulate it to try to make it work.
Model right here, or at least show representation of.
Yeah, I'm very familiar. Hey Nathan, I'm very familiar with Joe Handy's model. I actually offered him to demonstrate it on our channel, which he declined. And I've refuted his model. So when it comes to his model and the celestial poles, his south celestial pole is a reflection of the north celestial pole. But in reality, there are different stars and different constellations in the south versus the north. So it cannot be a reflection of the north. So that doesn't.
Oh, boom. See, Nathan just tried to make a claim and then instantly was falsified. Thanks for playing, Nathan. You're a dumbass.
Do you have any other way of reconciling it or no?
I didn't say selection. I don't think it's selection. We project it from the top to dome. It's not a flex.
So what's showing up in the south if you're only projecting stars to the top of the dome? A reflection.
Also, Joe Henry can't show the northern and southern star rotations. This doesn't work.
It's not a red herring. It's on topic, so we can move on. You're failing miserably here. So what about the 24-hour moon in Antarctica? Can you explain that on a flat Earth?
Yes, of course. No problem. James.
Nathan, run again.
You Google affirmative consequence. A large fallacy because out of additional statement is true. The petition itself must also be true. Essentially reversing the logic and leading to an invalid conclusion. The fallacy of affirmative consequence or draws the conclusion that if the consequence is true, then the antecedent must be true.
Okay, so thanks for showing that. I'm actually not doing that. So all I'm doing is presenting an observation that was made and filmed.
It's not for the consequence because it's very much the fact is here's your two models. Here's what it predicts. The globe model would predict this. The flat Earth would predict that. what is seen and observed in reality, and from that and to testing it, and then you can also do like what different lines of latitude. Sorry, I always get longitude and longitude mixed up. At what certain points there, going south or going north, how would that affect it? And then from that, which model would that show? And you can say at different points, which model was predicted and how would that work, and then what is observed and how you can test that. So it's not from the consequence fallacy at all. It's actually a showing what two models would predict, and then showing what actually is observed and testing it and seeing how if it can be validated or falsified.
In Antarctica, and I'm asking you to show if it's possible to happen on a flat Earth. I'm not doing anything like that. This was you had one. Okay, let's talk about that. So again, Joe Handy's model is that it's a reflection. Is that what you're saying? Are you saying the 24-hour moon in Antarctica is a reflection of a moon somewhere else? Because remember, Joe Handy's model uses a flashlight. The moon is not like the sun, so that his model doesn't work for the moon. So can you reconcile a 24-hour moon in Antarctica on flat Earth?
What the sky does, what's happening in the sky, does not determine the shape of the floor. It's another red herring talking about the sky until you ended flat Earth.
Yeah, but Nathan Thompson just claimed that celestial navigation proves the flat Earth. So that's using observations in the sky to measure the ground. But he's saying you can't use observations in the sky to measure the ground. But Nathan said celestial navigation proves the flat Earth. So he just contradicted himself. Because Nathan Thompson's too stupid to even realize what he said.
Well, the reason I ended flat Earth, Nathan, is because you nor the entire flat Earth community can explain these things that I'm telling you. Like, for example, they can't explain how we got internet in Antarctica. It's very simple. We got it from satellites. So this isn't good. This isn't good.
Explanations are not well. I don't know if you know that. If you walk down local tavern, find local village idiot, and ask anything under the sun, they'll give me an explanation for a pint. That doesn't.
Yeah, well, we already found the village idiot. His name is Nathan Thompson. He's wearing a green hoodie and a tinfoil hat cap.
Doesn't mean he's true. Doesn't mean he's right. Okay? Explanations are not proofs. You sitting over there asking 21 questions about the sky and saying you don't have an explanation for the sky doesn't end what the floor.
Yeah, no, it actually does, because it's not explanations. It's just showing, can you prove or can you make this work on using your model, and then show how it works, because they already have evidence proving that how it works on the globe. Now, can they make it work on the flat Earth? And Nathan's is running away from it because he knows that this whole thing debunks his whole grift and all of his ideology, his cult beliefs that he has, that he carries and tries to go around preaching.
But it's probably reasonable, right, for him to ask for an explanation where you say, hey, this, let's say, evidence A seems less probable on a flat Earth than a globe Earth. It's reasonable for him to ask how you explain it, right? So I do want to, if you're willing to engage in terms of trying to give an explanation.
I haven't seen it. So he went and saw it. Good for him. Looking at the sky doesn't determine what the floor is, James. That's all we've got. Great, excellent. Just do your minute.
No, I've got more. It's great. I'm enjoying this thoroughly. Okay, cool.
Yeah, Will Duffy's absolutely just freaking smacking Nathan Thompson around.
All right, so I will. I'm just going to recap for the audience. So we don't know how you get internet in Antarctica on a flat Earth. We don't know where the South Pole is on flat Earth. We don't know how there can be a South Celestial on a flat Earth. We don't know how there can be a 24-hour moon in Antarctica on a flat Earth. Let's talk about the 24-hour sun.
Yeah, so far Nathan Thompson's failed on like so many different points.
Will you at least admit that you were adamant that there was no 24-hour sun in Antarctica?
I didn't know. I've never been there.
Nathan, that was not your position. That's false. You never said, hey guys, I don't know if there's one or not. I haven't been there. You joined the rest of the flat Earth community in saying there isn't one. And the reason you guys were so adamant is because it doesn't work on a flat Earth.
Yeah, but I thought there wasn't one because every time I was in the group for 6 years, are you all right, bro?
I'm great.
Every time I was in the group for like 6 years, if any globe show me evidence of a 24-hour sun in the south, there's thousands of videos happening north, that would be great. I really appreciate that. Never did. After 6 years of me asking. So
I've been showing this actually time lapses from live streams from the Australian Antarctic project for 2 years, and Nathan Thompson has failed to address a single video in which I showed. And I showed several different stations because they have live streams, videos from the from that. So I'll kind of give you a quick look here. See here. Quickly, let's just show this here. So here's what I'm talking about here. So it's called the Australian Antarctic Program website. You can go to is antarctic.gov.au. And I've shown this for years, and Nathan Thompson has failed to address any of this. Well, live webcams, webcams here. They actually have live webcams, and you can look at live streams here. I'll show you. Here's Casey Station webcam. Now this shows right now. I think updates every 10 minutes. This is the current conditions there right now, and you can see it's on Monday, the 10th of March, because they're ahead of us at 11 a.m. and it looks nasty down there, doesn't it? 94 kilometer. We come down here, and you're probably not gonna see much. It looks like they have some pretty bad weather, but here you are. Here is a time lapse the last 3 days. So you can look from Saturday, 8th of March, and it runs through the time. And we should see there's the sun going past. The sun looks black there. So it's getting past that time. Yeah, in March, so we're getting to where the sun's starting to set now. And they're not exactly at the South Pole. But if you look back on here, I don't know if I can go back on this one. But if you look back, they actually do get 24-hour sun at the station. And I have it on my videos, on my TikTok and stuff like that, which I have actually pinned in on my channel. So they are getting, at 1 a.m. it goes dark. So I think here we're getting what? It's getting dark at 10, 11, so 11:20. And it's dark there for 2, 3, 6. So yeah, and then the weather. So yeah. I don't know if I can. We got Davis Station here. See if we can. And this one here has they have a time lapse here. You can see, as well as they have this is supposed to be something. It's supposed to watch cloud patterns, but when 24-hour sun happens, you can see stars, which is cool. And then you also can see when it's clear, you actually see the sun doing circles around it, and that's because it's actually seeing it's like 100. It looking up, so you're seeing a 360 view. So that's what this is. So it's showing north here, the top, south at the bottom, and it shows a you actually see the sun go all the way around. So it's like a camera inside of a dome, which gives it a full 180 above, like a 360 camera kind of, but obviously it's in a dome, distorted a bit. So the interesting thing here is it shows the south here, right? So you see the sun. There's the north here. Now this is so if you see the sun go south of halfway down, like go below here towards the south, then it falsifies flat Earth because it means it's gone past the tropic of Capricorn or Cancer. So right there, see the sun is down there. You can see where it's shiny right. I don't know if I can pause it here. Right here is clear. That there, because that is actually gone south. That's south. You can see where the sun is shining right there. That's gone, which means the sun is actually south. It's going to be southeast, southwest. Sorry, southwest, and then it's So that would be impossible on a flat Earth because it should always be up here. It should come here, move across here, and then come back again, and then go away again. It should never be down here because if it's down that way at all, then that's impossible. Then that means it's gone past the tropics of the flat Earth, and that can't happen. But seeing the sun do that, even though this they're getting out of the season 24-hour sun, that actually falsifies flat Earth because it's gone past what they would claim that the sun actually goes to. And there you go. See how it goes all the way around, and then it sets there. So once again, falsifying the flat Earth. And then look, there's a star rotation. So look at that, eh? Going clockwise. So if you go on here and you can see these live cams, when they are like in December, in November, December, and January, you will see 24-hour sun on these videos, especially Casey Davis and Mawson webcams. I don't know. Did I get Davis to come up? Davis Station is pretty cool. Davis Station. Yeah. So they, once again, this is a live feed. So this is at their local time, so 7:05 a.m. on the 10th of March, which I am now on because it's just past midnight. So we will see. I have videos of this where it shows the sun actually going, and you can see the shadows of these different like stacks and stuff like that. And you see the shadows do a full 360 around. But now, see, we're in March here, so now it's getting where I think March 20th is the spring solstice. Or yeah, spring solstice. So that's where you're getting. So now the sun is going to be on the 20th. Then the sun will be directly above the equator, and that's why they're not getting 24-hour sun here. These guys are not directly at the South Pole, so that's where you're having the sun come up. They're getting sunrise and sunset. Eventually, they'll have 24 hours of darkness. So I think that kind of showed something there. See if we can kind of slow it down here. So the sun rising right here. See, as the sun, the shadows go right. So start off right over there. They come around. They can go past. The sun's actually the sun actually goes. So you see they go right there. So they're actually going past 180, proving that the sun is actually still going south of their location slightly. Yeah, so I'm get off the site. But yeah, this is something I've actually shown to Nathan Thompson before, and he has completely read away from all these observations that I have shown on here. Because it falsifies his flat Earth. Let's get back to it, see if we can get through this.
So I was led to believe that it didn't happen. But if it does happen, that's we can already show this is a representation of a flat earth how it happens.
Okay, so let's talk about the 24-hour sun. Again, Joe Hanvey's model fails big time. So were you aware that the 24-hour sun that we filmed and saw in Antarctica made a wave pattern through the sky, that it changed elevation consistently, it would go up and down and up and down?
What the sun does in the sky has no relevance to what the earth is or the floor is underneath your feet. I looked at
Okay, so Nathan Thompson is running away from the evidence. Good job, Nathan, because you're too stupid to actually be able to make it work. I think you said Joe Hanvey's thing works, so show it, make it work. But he can't.
the floor with high-powered zoom cameras, infrared, telescope, land surveying equipment, mirror reflection tests, laser tests. You don't live on a curved hair.
He's never shown results of any of that stuff, by the way. I've looked. I've been asking for ages for him to show it. He shows other stuff other people have done, and other evidence like the black swan, which has been debunked hundreds and hundreds of times. And explained the observation he does shows, explain how it works on the globe, and doesn't work on the flat Earth. And that's about it. He's actually never shown a single thing he's actually done himself.
Or a curved ball. So ask me 21 questions about a place I've never been and what happens in the sky there is making you look silly.
Okay.
Just one question. I think some people in the chat are confused because they're trying to understand, Nathan. Would you say that a 24-hour sun is a problem for the flat Earth? Like, would you say, no, actually, it's not a problem. You have this explanation, or it is? Or would you say you don't have an explanation?
We can show a physical representation of a dome and how you get a 24-hour sun over a flat Earth with a dome. So no, it's not a problem if you saw a 24-hour sun.
Okay, so Nathan, here's the issue. People
Except for Joe Hanvey's model has been debunked hundreds of times, to the point where Joe Hanvey's given up on it.
have noticed, and I brought this up to Joe Hanvey, and a lot of people have brought it up to him, that he's not putting the camera inside the dome. He's putting the camera on the outside of the dome to get what might look like a 24-hour sun. But if you put the camera inside, you would never see it. So it's actually a false model because we were not outside any dome. We never saw any dome, and there was no camera outside the dome. Our cameras were all in Antarctica. His model doesn't even work.
Also, the fact is that I think I've had flat earthers claim the sun is like 3,000 miles above the surface of the Earth, and I've shown a representation showing how that the sun would never set. So the only way that could work with Joe Hanvey's model is if you have two suns orbiting that are 180 degrees apart from each other at all times, orbiting above us around the whole entire Earth, and we'd never ever have nighttime. Only way to work on Joe Hanvey's model.
Put a camera on the inside of his dome, there would be no 24-hour sun. Now again, Nathan, did you notice in our videos that the sun made a wave pattern through the sky? Because Joe Hanvey's model doesn't do that.
What the sun does in the sky over a place I've never been has no relevance on the floor that I've tested for the last 10 years and just showed you about a dozen evidence. It's not perfect in all directions. We don't have a physical geometric horizon. We see.
He's never shown actually any evidence. He showed claims like 8 inches per mile square, which is actually the completely wrong formula to try to measure curvature, especially as soon as you have any kind of altitude off of the ground at sea level. Then 8 inches per mile squared is no longer a relevant formula, and you have to use 1 degree per 69 miles.
Okay, Nathan, I'm happy to move on.
As well as account for atmospheric refraction, atmospheric conditions.
Let's talk about southern flights. So Critical Think flew nonstop from Santiago, Chile to Sydney, Australia. Can you please explain how that flight is possible on a flat Earth, where the path of that flight travels on a flat Earth?
I don't know. I'm thinking that flight. That's what I do. But I do have to take 2-hour flight. Here's the thing. Anybody needs an email,
Okay, so Nathan's completely ran and obfuscated from the distance from the flight from Santiago, Chile to Australia, and is mentioning pitch data, which unfortunately Nathan doesn't understand how the pitch data works. And the fact that I've even asked him myself He explains to you what the INS system is, and he's ran away from that because he doesn't know what it is. And he gets all the stuff from Angels of Light, and I've asked him that, and he runs away from that. And he claims some small airplanes. So I asked for him to explain to me how pendulous veins work in the false horizon, in the horizon in the planes. Then they usually run away from that as well because they don't know how they work. But I've done the research and I know exactly how they work, and they work because they have those systems because the Earth is a globe, and they need to use them. Pendulous veins are as the planes cresting over the curvature of the Earth. The pendulous veins actually help keep the horizon set by moving it faster than 1 degree per 69 miles, which I think is about 8 minutes. And as long as it's within that or faster, then it will and move down to where it needs to be. Pendulous veins, we're talking like small aircraft like Cessnas and stuff like that. Then that's all it needs to do. But yeah, fast maneuvers, moving back and forth, up and down, stuff like that, it'll show completely accurate because we're talking movements that's a lot faster than pendulous veins really keep up to. It only has to do within I think it's within something like 8 minutes or something like that. Then it was fine to work at the speed. Then you get a bigger aircraft and faster aircraft. Then you have something like INS system, which uses accelerometers, which measure the gravity of Earth underneath them, and it keeps the plane and all the systems perpendicular to the draw of gravity, and uses the gravitational pull and make sure that it stays perpendicular to the Earth. Now, obviously, faster movement up and down, back and forth. Then it's on a big platform. It will actually sense all those movements, but then as it feels like it's going off kilter and the movements aren't fast enough or it's not getting inputs, it actually will reorient itself to the gravitational pull and make sure that it stays at the 390 degrees to the Earth's gravity. Something that Nathan Thompson. That's a basic rundown, very basic stuff like that, but it's something that Nathan Thompson can't understand. Pitch data means nothing. Pitch data is because planes fly slightly nose up when they are flying cruising altitude, and then they can use the engines. If they throttle up, they'll actually gain altitude. If they throttle down, they'll lose altitude, and they can do that without even touching anything, the rudders or the ailerons or anything like that.
But the pitch data shows that the airplane was rating level for 2 hours. Now, do the math locally. After 2 hours of flying,
planes don't fly straight in level; they actually fly slightly nose up, and that pitch data is based on the like I said, on INS system.
straight in level, you would be 120 miles above the surface of the Earth. You almost stop the ISS and pick up those stranded astronauts. If this was the case, guys. But yeah, we got.
See, Nathan doesn't understand that airplanes, they don't maintain the obviously out the air, the ground underneath them they don't give a shit about, right? How airplanes maintain altitude is by using the pressure of the air, by using the atmospheric pressure, and then following that, and they just maintain. They can measure the pressure and they say, okay, maintain this. They know the altitude of this certain pressure, say 35,000 feet. This is the pressure, atmospheric pressure at that, which would be actually quite low, and it maintains maintains itself within that pressure. As the if it goes higher up, the pressure lowers down. If it goes down, the pressure rises up slightly. Because planes they can only require they require so much pressure air around them. Like a big plane has big wings. That's where you see something like the U-2 spy plane. The wings are freaking massive. They're really, really far out considering the size of the fuselage. And they have that because to get the distance, to get the altitude they need to have a lot more air underneath that fuselage to lift the weight up. Because the air is so much more thinner, higher up, then that way you can maintain the altitude. A large like Boeing or something like that, well, it has big huge wings and stuff like that. Obviously, it's a much heavier aircraft. it can only maintain, it has a ceiling. All planes have a max operation ceiling that they can reach. And it's pretty much down to how much thrust the engines can produce using the atmosphere, using the air around it, and how much lift those the wings can generate. If it hits a certain altitude, the plane will go up. It just won't climb anymore. There's not enough atmosphere. There's not enough. The engines can't produce enough thrust, and the wings can't produce enough lift to make it to because there's not enough air to gain more altitude. And you have is get a stall. It'll go up. If you climb straight up, there's some like fighter jets that maybe can shoot. They'll go up really, really fast, and you use a bit of momentum, and they can reach a certain altitude, and then they'll just go down. They fall and they come right down until there's enough air and there's wings and it could cause enough lift underneath, and the engines can produce enough thrust that they can come down, and then they can level out and maintain the altitude. But if they were to climb up gently, it hit a certain ceiling, and that would be it. The plane just wouldn't climb anymore. There wouldn't be enough. If they were to climb up a bit more, it would just stall and just come back down until they get enough air and to generate enough lift, and the engines would be able to produce enough thrust again. But this is something that Nathan is just too stupid to even understand, and Angels of Light as well. He's too stupid to realize this as well. It's explained numerous times, but they just choose to ignore it.
Pitch data indicator or the FAA pilots generation facility, which is a flat Earth simulator that negates the rotation against the gravity vector. So airplane lights aren't doing curvature justice.
Okay, Nathan.
That's wrong, and Will Duffy actually knows this. They don't use that generator thing. That is for, like, as Will Duffy will point out, that is for training air traffic controllers, not for training pilots.
So you went off topic again. We're talking about a very specific flight that's part of the final experiment. You have not explained how that flight works on a flat Earth.
You never will.
And you actually just said something completely false. Number one, the FAA does not train pilots, so you should stop saying that. Number two, pilots do not train on a target generation facility. That's false. Where did you get this? Completely wrong. Was this from TikTok?
Administration assumes a flat Earth training pilots and air traffic controllers using the target generation facility. The TGF consists of several software programs that control simulation scenarios using simulated aircraft. The TGF computer simulator drive almost all of the air traffic control laboratories of the FAA William J. Hughes Technical Center. The FAA states our lab has worked closely with the TGF group to have aircraft perform the way air traffic controllers would expect them to behave in a real, natural airspace systems.
Yeah, so if you listen to what Nathan just read there, he described how the target generator facility is used to train air traffic controllers, and that the simulation that the things in it for training air traffic controllers have uses the system simulates how the movement of different aircraft work. So yeah, Nathan, you smack, because what you just did is debunked yourself, you absolute bellend. Well done.
What are you reading from?
This is from The Greatest Lie on Earth by Edwin Henry, and has citations from the FAA website.
He's reading the Flat Earth book. Idiot.
Okay, so number one, the FAA does not train pilots. You were incorrect there. They certify pilots. They don't train them. Number two, pilots are not trained on a target generation facility. That's for air traffic controllers. That's not for pilots. If you go,
yeah, everything Nathan read described how they use train air traffic controllers. But Nathan's too stupid to realize what he read.
Find a pilot and ask him if he was trained on a target generation facility, he's going to say no, because they're not trained on a TGF. So you should just correct that going forward, because it's wrong. This is one of the issues that I found in the Flat Earth community, is they don't do research with people that might disagree with them. All the Flat Earth community had to do was reach out to Anthony Powell or Robert Schwartz about 24-hour sun. But they refused to do that and took the position that there wasn't 24-hour sun. If you just reach out to a pilot and talk to him, he will tell you what I'm telling you.
Well done, Will Duffy. That's a good freaking globe probing right there. Nathan Thompson is still feeling that today, I imagine.
Okay, so just whatever pilot says, we'll leave that. Excellent.
Okay, so back to the
Nathan ran from that one there because he's got globe smacked.
topic of the debate. Can you please explain how a non-stop flight from Santiago, Chile to Sydney, Australia is possible on flat Earth?
Yeah, of course. If you look at the pitch data, which I'll put back on screen, I don't know, maybe you weren't paying attention, the pitch data shows that they fly straight and level the entire duration of the flight. They also have an attitude indicator, has a gyroscope side. The reason they use the gyroscope because it keeps rigidity in space. Once you spin that thing up, it stays on that plane of rotation. And so if we're flying around a globe, which is a cartoon about that, the orientation of the gimbal is change with respect to the gyroscope. So we got the pitch data too.
Yeah, because it was smack there for Nathan Thompson because he deserves a good globe smacking. Yeah, because he, like I said, he does understand what INS system does, what it does use gyroscopes and accelerometers, or he doesn't understand how pinless beams work in smaller aircraft and older aircraft.
So I'm talking about a very specific flight here, and the reason.
He didn't give an answer. He just ran away from it.
Would you like the data for the flight? Would you like the data for the flight?
If it shows we live on a cartoon globe, then I would like to see it.
Okay, so Nathan, the reason this flight.
Yeah, Nathan is easy. QF24 or QF26. Look up the flights on any flight thing, any flight tracker. Here. Here. Let's see how long it takes for me to look up the research that Nathan Thompson doesn't want to do. Okay, I'll do it right now. I'll switch over here so you can see what I'm doing. So Flight Trader 24, right? So I typed in flight tracker. We're going to go to the Santiago. Here's Chile. And see here. Let's check and find a flight. What's this guy here right here? Oh, look, QFA 28, right? And look where it's going. This is in flight right now. This is in the air right now. Guess where it's going from? Santiago, Chile to Sydney, Australia. And look where it is. This is in flight right this second. So we can even look at the data here and see that the flight is 6,564 kilometers since it took off. It took off 7 hours and 59 minutes ago. Back out. And we can see, and this is a flight that happens a lot, right? So this is flying from there. And it will land in, and it will be at 5 hours and 54 minutes. It's 4,825 kilometers away from its destination, which is Sydney, Australia. So 8 hours ago it took off, and it will land in 5 hours and 58 minutes. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. About 14 hours, right? So you may have hit some headwind and stuff like that. Now it's a Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner registration. There it is there. Okay, so scheduled at 1:10 p.m. It took off. It actually took off at 1:32 p.m. So it's scheduled 5:40 p.m. and estimated to 5:26 p.m. Doing quite well. So you can look up the passenger aircraft. You can look up the barometer. So it's flying at 37,996 feet. It is right there. And if you look not too far from there, we have Antarctica. So it's actually left Santiago, Chile. It flew south. It's now heading there. And then it will come in south of New Zealand. Here's New Zealand here. And it will land in Sydney, Australia, which is in here. This does not work on a flat Earth. Flat Earth would require it to go, be a much further, much longer flight, and it would actually want to go here. It'd have to take off, go up the coast, go over top of the U.S., go over top of here. You fly over this way here. This is how Flat Earth would make it look, and then come down to the side. This is so Nathan Thompson wants the flight data. It took me how long? 2 minutes to look it up. I typed in flight tracker, flight trader, which is the very top one. Looked down for a flight from Santiago. Found one because it's really easy to find. It is out there. Not hard, and you can see where it's gone from and where it's going. Here's all the data here. This is stuff that flat earthers don't want to do. So even the ground speed says 447 knots is what its ground speed is, and its altitude tracked at 282 degrees. Some of the stuff you have to log in, like you have to have like a page, stuff like that to use this. You get some of the other data and stuff like that, but you can find all the stuff. I have nothing. I'm not logged into anything like that. I don't pay for it, and easily you can find this quite easily and for free. As well as, I believe, don't close on this, but some of these will go from Perth to Dubai. Okay, so it's going up. We have some that will be going to, I guess there you are. Oh, Johannesburg. Yeah, all sorts of flights and stuff here, but sometimes you'll get ones that come out of Australia and they're heading towards they'll go to where are you going from? London to Perth? Okay, let's go London to Perth. You'll get some that go from Australia and they fly south and they come up and then they go into South Africa in Johannesburg and stuff like that. So I don't know any flights at this moment. It's not as common as Santiago, Chile to Sydney, and that is more common because it's like the summertime here still a bit, so it's nice and warm. This flight does slow down a bit more. They don't see as often in the wintertime. But there you go. So yeah, Nathan Thompson, that took no time at all. He's just too damn lazy to do it. Once again, because he'll just falsify his grift.
Doesn't work on flat Earth because it's so far south. It begins and ends south of the Tropic of Capricorn. As I mentioned, a flat Earth pushes the south out indefinitely, so distances get far. This flight is impossible on a flat Earth because of distance, and the time that this flight happens is about 13 and a half hours is also impossible on a flat Earth. So can you reconcile?
So 13 and a half hours. Look, I showed you the flight there. It's about that. 13 and a half hours, give or take a few minutes.
that flight with flat Earth?
Yeah. There's no curve. You're talking about the sky, bud. It's right here. Are we going to talk about the floor and all this debate, or not?
Okay, so I gave you...
See, and Nathan Thompson is still running from all the evidence because it just destroys everything he has to say.
a list of the things that I was going to be presenting that I don't think you can reconcile with Flat Earth. If you have not attempted to reconcile them with Flat Earth, I am completely content to go to Q&A at this point.
Can you close arguments, James?
We had talked about closings, but if you guys mutually agree, I won't have closings.
Totally fine.
Maybe something like 3 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, whatever is great with me.
I did the closing arguments, and I'm gonna probably have to shut it down here. It is like 11:38, and I need to go to bed because I gotta get up early in the morning. I still got a couple of things I gotta do.
You got it.
I'll go first in the closing.
Great.
So again, all of those arguments had to do with sky. You think looking at the sky is going to prove what the floor is. Now, I've looked at the floor for 10 years. I've used every piece of optical technology you find, get your hands on, to look at the floor. The floor is curved. The Bible says it has all things, and hold fast to that which is true. I've done that with the floor. So ask me about a 24-hour sun in a place I've never been. Is it going to convince me what the floor is? That's the floor. Asking me about a 24-hour moon in a place I've never been. Is it going to convince me what the floor is? That's against the sky. Asking me about a South Pole you've never been to doesn't convince me that the Earth is curved in all directions. Doesn't and Flat Earth. Thanks for playing. Asking me about a Southern Celestial Pole is a red herring argument. You're not even on topic anymore. You're not even talking about the floor. You're off in La La Land, trying to Jedi mind trip. Global Flat Earth. That was what you're saying. I'm not a global Flat Earth. I was looking for some evidence. You didn't have any evidence. You had a lot of talking points, a lot of story time. I put out 12 images or so that debunk the cartoon global religion. Anyone can go test themselves. And thanks for your time, and thanks for all the work you did. Make my YouTube views, my Instagram views, and my Facebook views explode through the roof. Keep up the good work. Cheers. Okay, well.
Okay, great. So I actually, just so everyone knows, I sent Nathan the list of what I would be talking about, so he knew exactly what I'd be presenting. He would have an opportunity to watch the videos on the TFE channel and know exactly the arguments I would be presenting. As I predicted, which is why I made this, he would not be able to reconcile the.
You know, Nathan Thompson. He's now turned his camera off because he might be up to something. I don't know, but you know, there's this report. So I'm not saying it's true. Allegedly, it's just a bit weird because you go and it's kind of go a bit more hyper and weird.
Observations and experiments we did in Antarctica and Chile with Flat Earth. Now this is why there's a major exodus right now, gone public yet, that have contacted me and will go public soon, is because there are no answers to this. And so real truthers are going to look at the evidence, and they're going to see the truth and the reality of what we saw. And they're going to see that it simply doesn't work on a flat Earth. And those of the truthers that are willing to look at it and see the truth of the matter are going to leave Flat Earth, like Jaron, like Alex Stein, like Robbie Davidson, and so many others. And so this discussion tonight is a perfect example of how certain people will react when they don't like new evidence that's presented to them that contradicts a belief that they have. And so that's kind of where things stand. And I'm really glad that we did this. And I just hope that people will be able to see that the Flat Earth community does not have answers for what we brought back. And so I think that the final experiment definitely ended Flat Earth. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're going to jump into Q&A fact books. So we're going to try to fast. You guys gentlemen, because you guys actually a lot already. If you're able to keep your rebuttals to a very slim minimum, otherwise if we have rebuttals.
All right, I'm gonna knock it there, but yeah, Nathan Thompson, I don't know why you had his camera turned off there. That's really weird. But he was up to something a bit dodgy. You know, who knows? That he was just crying into his cup there. I mean, he got absolutely freaking globe probed. I mean, I'm pretty sure I've seen on TikTok his he's still hurting from that one. To be honest, he hasn't lived that one down. So yeah, that's funny. But yep. So that's it. That was Will Duffy absolutely round pounding Nathan Thompson to the ground, and Nathan Thompson had nothing, even though he was given more than an opportunity to go through all Will Duffy's evidence and try to debunk it, and if he could have, then he would have obviously been a hero. But I think he realized, he looked at everything, he realized he had nothing, he couldn't prove any of it. It just because Flat Earth just failed at every single point, and that was it. And then Will Duffy's just continued on since then, just going around and absolutely just, globe smacking flat earthers left, right, and center. It's funny. He's only been in this for just over a year, and he's an absolute menace to the flat earth. But yeah, that's about it for now. I am going to call it there, and yeah, you like my closing screen. All right, thanks for watching. Don't forget to follow me for more videos. Watch my other videos as well. Subscribe to my channel. Hit the like button there. Hit the bell for notifications, and I'm gonna see if I can make this more a thing to be coming on more often on live, and maybe I can start getting some more people in here and growing my community, and maybe start collaborating with some other some other debunk channels, and see if we can have some fun and laugh at the derp. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, and see you again. Thanks for watching. See ya.
NASA lies, yeah, that's what I say. Don't have proof or facts in any way. I claim the moon's made of plasma, a place no one can go. The Apollo program's a scam, I can't back it up though. They talk about the ISS is floating in space. You ask me in a pool, I'd say is the case. Satelloons in the sky held up by helium balloons. But bro, that's just a lie, cause that's what all bitches do. NASA lies is something I'll never prove. No facts, no evidence, debates I will lose. They say they've been to the moon, I say it's not the truth. I see truth in no way, I hate MC2 when he shows me proof. The firmament is real, a dome up above, but I'll never prove it, so lost that I'm dumb. I know the world is flat, trust your sense of sight. Saying gravity's just a theory is why I'm up at night. NASA is phony like a show or movie, fake like on stage. Truman Show, child's play, it's chess but suck at this game. Because I'm just a dick with only my stupid self to blame. But I'm so fucking sure that the earth is flat, based on how I feel with my pop-up flare. Swear my blind faith is what keeps it real. NASA lies is something I'll never prove. No facts, no evidence, debates I will lose. They say they've been to the moon, I say it's not the truth. I see truth in no way, I hate MC2 when he shows me proof. Asking the wrong questions, my beliefs are all faith-based. I can't see the fucking answers right in front of my face. Stanley Kubrick is mentioned every single goddamn time. Somehow he filmed it without nobody dropping a dime. The firmament is a dome, it keeps water in the sky. But when you ask me to prove it, I can't know why. NASA in Hebrew, it means to lie or deceive. My flirt priest told me and blindly I believe. NASA lies is something I'll never prove. No facts, no evidence, debates I will lose. They say they've been to the moon, I say it's not the truth. I see truth in no way, I hate MC2 when he shows me proof. Spreading misinformation and lies willfully, so proud. Like Nathan yelling at strangers so loud. NASA's lies, people's spaces fake and Earth isn't round. Oh shit, the fathers and husbands stop me into the ground.
Asking the wrong questions, my beliefs are all faith-based. I can't see the fucking answers right in front of my face. Stanley Kubrick is mentioned every single goddamn time. Somehow he filmed it without nobody dropping a dime.
The firmament is a dome, it keeps water in the sky. But when you ask me to prove it, I can't know why. NASA in Hebrew, it means to lie or deceive. My flirt priest told me and blindly I believe. NASA lies is something I'll never prove. No facts, no evidence, debates I will lose. They say they've been to the moon, I say it's not the truth. I see truth in no way, I hate MC2 when he shows me proof. Spreading misinformation and lies willfully so proud. Like Nathan yelling at strangers so loud. NASA's lies, people's spaces fake and Earth isn't loud. Oh shit, the fathers and husbands stop